Hi everyone, my name is Rhys and I'm coming at you once again from the Barbican Centre to give you another Young Reviewers review. Now today I'm going to be talking about the Los Angeles Philharmonic Orchestra, whose show American Landscapes, directed by Gustavo Dudamel, I saw Wednesday in the Barbican Hall. Now the idea of seeing classical music was a half and half situation for me. I mean, on one side I completely respect classical music, and to be honest, no background music helps me revise better, but I never saw it as a genre of music that I would go to a concert to put all of my focus into. And so I was really curious as to see how I would respond to this music when I'm not using it as a revision tool or something to help me get through a 5,000 word essay. Anyway, the show. Firstly, it was split into three parts. Firstly, it was split into three parts and had the orchestra playing alongside images and videos projected on a big screen behind them, as each piece of music was supposed to represent the landscape being projected onto the screen. The orchestra was made up of the usual suspects: countless violinists, cellists, percussionists, a pianist who looks like they've been electrocuted every time he touched the piano, a Zylorimba, and a glockenspiel, which by the way is never not fun to say. Glockenspiel. But what did I think of the show? Well, sadly, I wasn't that into it. And it's so disappointing because I was expecting to be blown away. I wanted so badly to be blown away. And it's not that I wasn't impressed by their playing. I mean, they were all fantastic. Every one of them masters of the instrument that they've spent so much of their lives dedicated to. But in terms of the music they were playing, I guess I was just expecting something different. And like I said before, the purpose of their playing was to complement the images being projected on the screen behind them. And so the music was more of a tame narrative than a huge show. I'd gone in expecting music like Pomp and Circumstance or one of Beethoven's many symphonies. And so I think that I was just a little underwhelmed by the reality of the show. For me, it felt like there was very little times in which the whole orchestra came together. That's the part that I crave in classical music. I mean, it was mainly either a bit of the piano, and then some of the strings, and then maybe the percussionist for a bit, and then the xylophone, etc. And at first I was content with this because I was expecting the music to build up into something great, but for most of the songs, that just wasn't the case. And when I realized that, I kind of started to lose interest. Also, because the concert felt more like they were playing a musical score to a film, a lot of the music started to sound repetitive to me, but I'll blame that to my inexperienced ears. And also, the pianist was constantly playing in the minor key, which again, after a while, I started to become apathetic towards. But it wasn't all bad. The show had some gems. For instance, when the orchestra did come together, for example in the song Cedar Breaks and the Gift of All, it was captivating and I loved it. There was a song called Interstellar Call which featured just a French horn being played against the movements of the moon, and that was beautiful. But there were so many gems I could really appreciate, and when the show is nearly 3 hours long, that doesn't really bode well. But it's not like I hated it, I just thought that that specific concert wasn't for me. For me, the music just felt jagged. It started and stopped a lot, which I know was their intention because again, they were representing the landscape behind them, but I just prefer music to flow. I don't know, perhaps if the landscape was the ocean or an eruption of a volcano, something really dynamic and fast-paced and moving, maybe that would have been more to my interests. But again, it's hard for me to talk about this or review this show without feeling like a fraud because, well, this music isn't my speciality. And so there may be many of you watching this who are classical enthusiasts and you may love those themes. Anyway guys, I've been Rhys. You've been watching your laptop for about 4 minutes, and this has been another Barbican Young Reviewers review. Now if you enjoyed the video, or you disagreed with what I said, or you want to make a comment on the many flawless poses I've been making on this chair, well then please comment below. Get involved in the conversation, we'd love to hear from you. And like, subscribe, basically click up all over this area. Just click it up like no tomorrow. And check out the Barbican website for information on all the shows going on here, including the Los Angeles Philharmonic Orchestra.